Welcome to another episode of Bonnie's Keto Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making keto scalloped potatoes. I have not tried this recipe yet, but it seems very yummy. It comes from Low Carb Love. Now here's the funniest thing. I was thinking it was going to take forever to cut up the turnips, but it ended up being very easy to do. Here's how I cut them up. You have your turnip. Cut both ends. Now what they say is it's bitter all around here. So you want to get that layer off. I tried to use a peeler, but it just doesn't go very deep. So I just am doing this. Now is where you can just cut it like this. Use a mandolin, but I just cut it in half, maybe a quarter. Put it in the food processor. So I've already tested it with some. I'm using this blade here. Got my quarter here. So that food processor really worked because it also shred my cheese with the same blade. And you always want to shred your own cheese because you'll lose a carb that way, because the pre-shredded one has some anti-caking agent in there, which is potato starch, and that adds a carb. So you want to shred your own cheese. Plus it's meltier this way, right? But look how they came out. Super easy and pretty thin, I'll tell you. You can also use a mandolin, but I'm always scared of those, first of all, and secondly, I don't have one. Otherwise, you can just cut it with a knife. But I mean, that'll take forever, right? Preheat your oven to 375 first. Heat up the stove to about medium, and we're going to add a cup of unsweetened almond milk, a cup of heavy whipping cream, teaspoon of onion powder, teaspoon of garlic powder, teaspoon of paprika, a half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. If you don't have this, you can use tapioca flour or gelatin. This is just a thickening agent. I'm going to whisk that up. To this, we're going to add about a cup of cheese. I'm going to put in a little extra because, you know. And a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, that is. We're going to let this melt. Okay, I have my glass casserole dish. I'm just going to add a little bit of the cheese to the bottom. And I'm not going to do it all fancy like she did. I'm just going to willy-nilly put them in here. Add some cheese sauce. Next layer. More sauce. Last of the cheese sauce. I'm just going to take some remaining cheese and put it on the top. Pop it in for 30 to 35 minutes. Y'all, this smells really good and it looks phenomenal. I put a little salt and pepper on there. Well, apparently a lot of pepper and a little bit of dried chives. Now I will say, I woke up at like 6 a.m. and thinking I was going to have to cut turnips forever because it took 2 turnips. But I tell you what, that food processor did the trick. I mean, 40 seconds and those things were cut. This makes 6 servings. It did end up having more cheese sauce than I thought, so the cheese sauce ran a little bit, but that's okay. Who doesn't love cheese? There's 313 calories for 6 servings, 6 total carbs, 1 dietary fiber, which equals 5 net carbs. Giving this a shot. Wow. I do definitely notice that it's not fully potatoes because the texture of the turnip is just a little bit off. But that could be because I only had it in for like 32 minutes. So maybe if I cooked it longer, that might have done the trick. But let me tell you, this is fantastic. If you're interested in more recipes, I'll put 2 up here. Otherwise, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell. I'll see you guys next time.